Football is a passionate game, and I feel like it was a bunch of guys having fun today. You know, at the end of the day, we're all still brothers. We go out there, and I play against Bronson Kafusi in practice, and we get after each other then. But in the locker room on my way up here, gave him a high five, said good practice, and we're still friends, we're still brothers. So I think that's how it should be.
Important to get to that point, or I mean, just the fact that you're here the second practice talking about the intensity. Is it nice to be at that stage already in spring here at your second practice?
Oh, definitely. It's always bad whenever it takes a while to warm up. I think that we came out today and we were ready to go. Yesterday we started a little bit slow on both sides of the ball. It's to be expected for the first day. But, today we took the coaching points that we had and we took the corrections and we came out ready to go. And, you saw that. It was evident in practice. We still have a long way to go execution-wise as far as, O-line shoring up the pass protection, throwing and catching from the offensive perspective of things. But the fire and the fight, I think, is there. And that's always where you start from. So
maybe playing off that, Bronco said he likes what he's looks like intense
or
increased toughness. What do you attribute that to?
I just attribute that to guys loving the game. We had guys working so hard this off season and coming in extra outside of what was set for us by the coaches. And you can't do that unless you love the game. You can't do that unless it matters to you. And so now when we actually get to go out and play the game, I feel like our mindset is, well, we've worked so hard for the last 2 months. Now let's go out and show it. So,
what was your off season like? As you watched film and evaluated your season, what did you want to work on in this off season?
Me personally?
Yeah.
So for me personally, I really needed to work on my pass protection and just my overall strength. I feel like I can work hard and that I'm semi-fast and my conditioning level is okay, but if you just look at me compared to the other guys out there, I look like a string bean. But so I hit the weight room pretty hard. I feel like it's showing so far in spring ball. Hopefully when we get pads on, it'll show even more. So.
Talk about Tooney and what you're seeing just as far as he's joined the offensive line.
It was he moved over at the end of fall. I know he had played in high school, didn't know much else about him. The first day of spring ball, Coach 2J came up to me. He was like, all right, you're going right tackle, which was a little switch up for me. And Tooney was going to be next to me, and so I was like, all right, Tooney, let's go. If you don't know something, just ask and stuff like that. I was expecting to have to tell him what to do on every play, but it hasn't been like that. He's catching on quick. He's a great athlete, and I think he's fun to play next to. So that's a really good thing for me at my right guard like that. So
just as far as an O-line perspective, what's his biggest strength and what does he need to work on the most?
He has that O-line mentality. He wants to get after it. He wants to go and just succeed and fight wherever he can. And I really like that. The knowledge of our offense and the knowledge of our scheme, that'll come. But like I said, he just has that mentality where he wants to get after it. So
you obviously get an up close look at the defense. What do you think the defense is playing so far? A lot of new guys over there. How have they looked against you?
There is a lot of new guys, and you can tell that they have a lot of fire in them. There's a couple of times where we can tell they're not exactly gap sound, but like I said, we have on the offensive side we have to shore up our execution and technique, and that's just to be expected for the defensive side as well. Especially with our D-line, we have a ton of return missionary guys and guys that's their first time playing D-line. And I think in that situation, it's easy to go out there and kind of play half speed and play tentative. But I think our guys, our D-line, they're going full speed. They're going fast, even if they don't know what they're doing, and that's cool. That's exciting. That gives me faith in our defense.
From an offensive lineman's perspective, last year the red zone was a struggle to get the ball over that line.
Mm-hmm.
What was happening? Why was there some inefficiency there?
One of the sayings that our coaches always say to us is fatigue makes cowards of us all. And a lot of times whenever we would drive to get down into the red zone, that's, 5 or 6 plays, right off the bat, play after play after play, and you get tired. So I feel like just our overall conditioning, if we can get to the point that we want, and then also just focusing down, taking a deep breath even when you are tired, and realizing, all right, hey, this is my job, this is what I need to do, and being confident that you can do that, because the defense is just as tired as you are.